YouTube. This is Will from Will Development. This is my 291st weekly update. Still training from home this week, and still going good with things. Decided to make this week a bit of a deload week for just about everything. Don't know if I mentioned it last week, but I hit a PR on deadlift, lifetime PR. And this week took everything a little easier. Still squatting and deadlifting and pressing twice a week. But my left shoulder has developed something. So I'm essentially in rehab for it right now, unfortunately. It just plain old hurts to press. And it does at some points reduce a lot of my actual strength, which is unfortunate. But I'm working on it, doing a lot of external rotation movements and things like that to try to prehab it, and I am still pressing with moderate weight, doing a lot more rep work, just trying to get a lot of blood in there and trying to get the movement right, and trying to really pinpoint the problem. And it'll go back to normal. I went through a very similar thing with my right arm, and over time it just sort of went away, and I'm more than willing to bet that with this left arm it'll be the same story, that it'll just take some time and some proper movements and things like that, and it'll sort itself out. So I'm not all that concerned with it. But this week was a much lighter week, so to speak. I started out on Monday wanting to do a lot more than I did on squats, but I ended up just hitting 315 for a single, and I was planning on doing that for like sets of 3, but it just wasn't in the cards. And I ended up doing super lightweight on deadlifts, something like 275, just double overhand, work the grip a little bit for like sets of 5. And it wasn't the best day of training, let's just put it that way. And then Tuesday, with the pressing being what it is, just doing moderate rep work. I think I worked in like the 155, 135 range for some reps on strict pressing. I don't want to do push pressing right now just because I'm worried that extra force might jostle something more than it can handle. And so far as I could tell right now, nothing's torn or broken. Something's just sort of out of place and just literally rubbing things the wrong way. So with that in mind, that's where we're at with that. And then Wednesday was another good yoga sesh with lots of pull-ups every day. And then Thursday was a better squat day. I think I worked up to like 260, and I did that for like set of 10, but I was doing sets of 10 with 250, 255 and 260. I did that with sets of 10, which based on the calculations, with like 1 rep max calculations, 340 being my current 1 rep max, I should be able to hit 260 for 10, so I did, and I was able to do it. Wasn't that easy, but it was more cardio than anything. I really didn't feel like weak during any of it, but it was a good deload to do, I'm sure. So I'll be thanking myself for that next week, I reckon. And then tonight with pressing, I just did some very, very light press work. I did sets of 10. I think I did 3 sets of 10 with like 120 or something like that, maybe 125. And just a lot of sets of 10, just really getting a lot of blood flow in the triceps and the shoulders, trying to really just encourage as much blood flow as possible, just to try to stimulate good growth. And then I actually did some band work where I just did a bunch of face pulls and W's into front raises and external rotations with a band around my wrist. And then did a little more pressing with some of the pressing blocks I have laying around and some of the Atlas stones I have laying around just because I can't resist. And, I had to do a little more press work. And did do some pause bench, too, with super lightweight. I took like 50% max, which I estimate my max is still somewhere around 300, so I just took like 155, 165, and just did like 3 sets of 5 with 3-second pauses. Nice and controlled, because I was finding that when I was exploding with the weight, which I can explode with that weight, 150, 160, it's not too heavy. I can, realistically, I can explode with like 225. I don't know if I could pause and explode with it, but I was still, like last week, I was still doing 225 for sets of like 7. So I mean, I'm not that far back on benching. I just happen to have access to a bench, so I figured why not bench a little? It would be another movement to try to maybe encourage some more blood flow in the area. So it didn't really hurt me tonight, and neither did the pressing. That's about all I did this week, and things are still going okay. I'm just taking it all in stride as it all comes. The deadlift and the squat are going very well. So I'm not all that disappointed that something's going wrong with my shoulder right now. It just sucks because the comps are going to come up eventually, and hopefully this is all sorted out before that happens, and I'll have time to sort of get my strength back to at least have a shot at maybe not zeroing completely the pressing events. But we'll see. I'm not in any kind of a hurry to fix it in terms of a competitive standpoint. Just simply from a pain standpoint, I would like it to go away. That'd be nice. But I'm doing a lot of things outside of the training to try to facilitate more shoulder health towards it, to try to make it feel better. And that's about all I've got going on in terms of training and all that. Other than that, I hope everybody's out there staying safe. I hope everybody's still training somehow. Word on the street is the gyms and everything are going to be opening up pretty soon, so it'll be good for everybody to get back in action, and we'll see who really worked over quarantine and who didn't. Not that I'm judging. I'm judging. And yeah, just everybody just stay hopeful, and I hope you look forward to getting back out there. And if you don't, then what's your excuse?